Nigerians about that process. The success story is enormous. The EFCC in the last 3.5 years have recovered, over 80 billion naira, for the country, and we have recovered a lot of assets, landed assets. Just last week, you all reported it on the media that the EFCC have gotten interim for future order of jewelry worth about 40 million US dollars.
Our correspondent Precious Nwako reports that the road walk commenced from the zonal headquarters of the EFCC down to Garrison Junction and back to the office. The theme for this year's is winning the fight against corruption. In commemoration with this celebration of the World Population Day, observed every 11th of July, the Federal Population Commission has stressed on the need to educate women on their reproductive health. Speaking on the theme for this year, tagged 25 years of ICPD, accelerating the promise, the Federal Commissioner in charge of River State, Ibalibo Ari, said the reproductive rights of women is unintentionally linked to their reproductive health and overall well-being of their families. He said adequate consideration should be given to every woman's right to contribute to how many children she wants to have at what intervals and to participate in planning of a macro family.
The role of woman in managing the population, the family population, the fact that she has the right to know that there are consequences. There are consequences for having to have children, unplanned children. Consequences that follow with every action that is unhealthy to her. Therefore, she has a right to know and to decide that she wants to have children. That the woman has a right to know or to participate in the management of her macro family.
Some respondents who spoke to our correspondent, Funaya Obema Ndukwe, stressed the need for family planning as Nigeria's population is becoming larger than the resources readily available. Our other respondents, however, disagreed on the possibility of women partaking in family planning in the society.
We need to cut down the size of children give birth to, because when we have more children, it means that the pressure on the resources will be more. So definitely less children will mean better pressure on those resources, and we don't have any money anymore in Nigeria.
People will see now you go to tell you mama, because they born plenty, lose many birds, and they push the whole children. Yeah. And telling the world we born too much is not good. That's called look so old.
So those women that produce those children, I don't know woman be. One woman because they will not say you want born two, because they ain't marry herself. Because I believe say when they say woman cannot come now because the world don't change. They tell me say that 2 or that 3. Now you get the house.
The River State government has flagged up the user fee waiver for persons living with HIV/AIDS in accessing healthcare services in the state. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony in Port Harcourt, River State Deputy Governor Ipalibo Aribanigo said the initiative is not restricted to public hospitals but to all private health facilities in the state. Aribanigo disclosed that the rate of HIV/AIDS prevalence in the state is high, disclosing that at least 210,000 persons are living with the virus, with only 1/5 being able to access life-saving antiretroviral treatments. The deputy governor, who also pledged on behalf of Governor Wike to continue to ensure that health facilities are in good working condition and also provide HIV/AIDS test kits to aid those affected to live a normal life without stigma from the public as well as the health centers. Mixed reactions are trailing the regular redeployment and posting of commissioners of police amid increasing level of insecurity in River State. Some residents of Port Harcourt who spoke to our correspondent said the regular redeployment of CPs have no negative effects on the security situation in the state. The residents said the Police Service Commission must be allowed to do their professional work, just as they urged the new commissioner to always work with stakeholders to fight insecurity.
I don't think changing of the commissioner of police have any negative effects in fighting crime in River State, unless it is political. If it is not political, any police commissioner can be able to fight crime at a particular time. The commissioner of police, while in the state, must work with the people in the area.
It all depends on the Police Service Commission. The Police Service Commission, they know more because it's their own field on changing CPs and bringing in new ones. But the new one now in River State, the River Indigene will employ him to work with other security operatives to make sure that the menace in River State are being put to a stop, because there is a lot of insecurity all over River State. There is no place that is safe.
On his part, the security expert, retired Colonel Chinedu Owunda, said regular redeployment of police commissioner has never helped in the fight against insecurity in the state. Retired Colonel Owunda told correspondent Uchendu Ajawo that it is always difficult for any commissioner of police who is yet to familiarize with the security situation of a state to effectively fight insecurity.
It is not helping matters because when you post somebody in, the person has to reorientate himself, recontour with this political and security issues in the state and see how he can plan again for that to tackle it. But in a situation where they've not been allowed to really sit down, they've not been allowed to know the problem of the state, it's voted that it does not give room for continuum between its CPs. All these postings are politically motivated and it will not go well because when you start politicizing security, then that is the end of any system. And that is what is playing out now.
Similarly, a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC in Rivers State, Kingsley Wali, has said the Nigerian police force must begin to reveal the rationale for transferring commissioners of police out of the states. Wali said this in reaction to the deployment of CP Usman Dandwara as the new commissioner of police in Rivers State. He said citizens of a state must be told why a commissioner of police is being transferred, especially based on his performance while in office, adding that there is a chance security operatives lobby to be deployed to Rivers State because of financial benefits.
We've had how many police commissioners in this state in the last couple of months? We bring them, they come here, they go. We bring them, they come here, they go. What I know is that our state has become one of the very juicy positions that security officers from other parts of the country want to come and they want to come and see and feel the goodness of Rivers State. There must be something that is bringing the security men that they pay. I even hear, I'm not sure, that they pay money to come to Rivers State. And if somebody is coming to Rivers State and he leaves Rivers State without anything, for example, you ask the immediate past commissioner of police that is going, what did he achieve? Did he bring down the crime rate? These are the kind of questions you should be asking. You've brought somebody, you're taking him away.
Only persistent insecurity in the state, while he said there is need for the political class, irrespective of party lining, to tone down the tension, just as he advised Governor Nyesom Wike to privately visit President Muhammadu Buhari and seek for help, like other governors do.
The body language of anybody is not important. What's important that can solve our security situation here is the active and definitive actions of those in a position to do something about it. And unfortunately, we have patronized these men. I'm sorry to say that. We have patronized them across the divide. So much so like you cannot use somebody and dump him and expect them to clap for you. What is happening now is that the boys have been empowered by the so-called political class and they want to do away with them. And they're telling you, no, we have found use for what you gave to us the last time. So they're only using what they have to get what they want at the detriment of innocent people. Because those policy makers, those decision makers, those people who engage them all have a retinue of police and security around them. So it's you and I who never had a meeting with them, who never had a contact with them, who are having to deal with the consequences of the irresponsibility of those powers.
There you had Kingsley Wali, a chieftain of the APC in Rivers State. This report says a family of 7 has been found dead in Elele town in Ikore local government area of Rivers State. Our correspondent gathered that a tragic incident took place in the apartment of the family within an estate known as Too Much Money in Elele town. One of the neighbors of the victims who confirmed the incident to our correspondent said they woke up in the early hours of today and noticed that the neighbor's house was still under lock. Our source said they decided to force open the main door to the one-bedroom apartment, after which they saw their dead bodies. The neighbor said they last saw the father of the family the night before putting on the generating set, which they suspect may have caused their death. Confirming the incident, the spokesman for the Rivers State Police Command in Ambiomoni told our correspondent, Uchendu Ejowo, that preliminary investigation shows that the family died as a result of carbon monoxide from the flames of generating set, but insisted that the investigation was still on to unravel if there was a sabotage.
That the end of today as a result of provocation from carbon monoxide. They left their generator on and all got provocated. The person has been recovered and deposited. An investigation has also been ordered in the concerning the circumstance that led to the death if it was as a result of sabotage action or inaction of anybody or group of persons. That is in place, and at the end of it, anybody found capable will be brought to justice.
You're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign, and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Hold on, Kata. No, don't say else. Just bring 5,000 now.
Only.
Make
the Kata day. Make the code remain.
Yeah, they worry.
You are not aware you're a thief. Now that you know that your money is coming from a thief, do you not see why you're a thief?
All right, still talking about affairs of the federal government. We understand also that the federal government...
Welcome to today's edition of Beats and Pieces in the Premium Talk and News Radio.
And it's going to be 1-1 Morata. 1-0 is never good enough.
That's why we're called the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Act.
Here we go.
And yes, you're still listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Some Niger Delta ex-agitators under the federal government's amnesty program have accused the federal government of abandoning them after the first phase of their training in the maritime sector in Sweden. Some of the aggrieved ex-agitators who spoke to our correspondent, Chinedu Uwuna, said the second phase of the training program was meant to help them acquire a certificate of competence to enable them secure a job. They said since the first phase was completed in Sweden in 2014, all their effort to get the federal government sponsored the second phase as promised have proved abortive. The ex-agitators therefore appealed to the federal government to fulfill their promise to enable them acquire the certificate of competence which will enable them practice as maritime workers.
Now, when they promised us that we are going for Sweden for sub-based training, they promised us that after that time, in a month time, that was ending of October 2014, that they will take us to Poland for our CTEM training. Now, when we get to Nigeria, they begin to play us anke-panke. We come today, come tomorrow. When we call them, they will tell us that they are preparing about our voyage. Then we have been keep on asking them up till now. They are not coming to our aid. So we are here pleading for the president to come to our rescue, because the way the officers are doing, they are saying that the president is one of the things that is holding them.
We've protested twice. Rather, they will say that they've been sent by politicians to come and spoil their government. So we've written letters. We spoke with the Nimasa man. He told us that they are ready to afford 20% of our training, that let the office afford 80%. And please, what we want from them is just our CTEM. If they could not deploy us to go overseas, they should provide a seagoing vessel with a better gross tonnage of the engine, that we know what we are doing.
The ex-agitators also threatened to stage another protest if their demands were not met. The members and Executive Council of the Calabar Unity Project Initiative for Good Governance have joined in congratulating Governor Nyesom Wike and the People's Democratic Party family in River State over the victory against the petition of the African Action Congress at the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Port Harcourt. The CUPIG described the victory as a widely accepted victory following the circumstances that led to the emergence of Governor Wike and other PDP candidates during the last general elections in the state. Addressing newsmen in Port Harcourt, the President General of the group, Jerry Osford, commended the judiciary, especially the tribunal, for proving that they are the last hope of the common man. Osford, however, urged the governorship candidate of the AAC, Biokpo Mabo Awara, to have a rethink and consider not appealing the judgment of the tribunal, but join hands with the government of the day to move the state forward.
We, the Calabar Unity Project Initiative for Good Governance, CUPIG, in conjunction with our sole patron, Engineer Victor Obuzo, JP, joyfully congratulate His Excellency, the Golden Governor of River State, Chief Barrister Zebunye Wike, and the entire PDP family. Once again, congratulate them for the victory God granted to them at the tribunal. We also thank members of the tribunal. They have shown to the common man that they are the last hope, because the victory of Chief Barrister Zebunye Wike on the governorship election is divine. So also the judgment by the members of the tribunal of the governorship election in River State is also divine. On that note, we are advising our brother, the son of Calabar Kingdom, to rethink not to appeal the matter
and join hand with His Excellency, Minister Project, to move the state forward and the Calabar Kingdom forward.
The Nigeria Senate summoned the National Communications Commission over dropped calls and poor registration of SIM cards. This followed the increasing rates of dropped calls and unwholesome practices by telecommunication network operators in the country. According to the lawmakers, they are worried that the drop calls on unwholesome practices are robbing Nigerians of their hard-earned monies. The lawmakers also want refunds for disrupted calls caused by network issues. Their decision to summon the NCC followed claims by the Senate that the NCC has not lived up to its regulatory responsibilities. Senate President Ahmed Lawan vowed that the Senate will blacklist operators where necessary. President Mahmoud Buhari has nominated the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, as substantive CJN. The National Judicial Council had yesterday recommended Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed to Buhari for confirmation as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. Tanko's name was read by Senate President Ahmed Lawan on the floor of the Senate. Buhari urged the Senate to accord the confirmation of Justice Mohammed for speedy consideration. Security agents have shot in the air to disperse members of the Muslim sect Islamic Movement of Nigeria, popularly known as Shiite, who allegedly attempted to cause crisis around the Federal Secretariat in Abuja. Passers-by and workers were thrown into panic around the area as they ran away from the scene due to the gunshots. Supporters of detained Shiite leader Ibrahim El-Zakzaki were out again to protest the detention of their leader. On the foreign scene, United States Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is being sued for blocking people on Twitter. Former New York State Assemblyman Dov Ekind and Joseph Saladino, a YouTube personality running for Congress, filed the claims. According to Ekind's lawsuit, the congresswoman blocked him after he criticized her and her political views. Ocasio-Cortez is among many critics of the detentions on the southern border, saying people are being held in cramped and unhygienic conditions. Both sides a recent ruling against President Donald Trump, which said he was breaking the law by blocking critics on the social media platform. They argued the law should apply to all politicians. And now to end the news, here is the summary of the major stories. Anti-graft agencies have held separate rallies in Port Harcourt in commemoration of the 2019 African Anti-Corruption Day. The River State government has flagged off user fee waiver for all persons living with HIV/AIDS in the state. The Nigerian Senate has summoned the NCC over an increasing rate of dropped calls and poor SIM card registration. On the foreign scene, a former New York State Assemblyman has sued the U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for blocking people on Twitter. That was the news as edited by Chinedu Una. For comments and enquiries, please call to 0815 341 8.
Here I come with my voice, here to win. It's my choice. You can dream if you believe. Give it all you've got. They are fast, I am faster. They are strong, but I'm stronger. I'm the best, so I pick up my chest. My dream, my speed, and my strength. Give me the power to win. We're flying higher to the top. Can't stop me now. Give me the power to win. Stronger, so strong. Yeah, yeah. Can't stop
evening, football lovers, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can get anywhere on radio. My name is Victor Oreyewe, and of course, in the next 15 minutes, I'll be flying you through the major stories making the rounds in the ever-exciting world of football. Of course, in men today, we have the Super Eagles as they made it through, yes, to the semi-finals of the Total CAF African Cup of Nations. Don't go anywhere. The show will begin after this short timeout.
This is how you listen to music with data. And this is how you listen to music with more Blaze.
When we arrive, everybody comes alive.
Know the difference. Step up to a quality connection that always delivers, because it's more than just data. It's more Blaze. Dial *200 *3 *1# to get started.
9 Mobile. Here for you. Here for Naija.
This is for those who want to step up and get rewarded. Buy a 9 mobile data plan and top up with a higher plan within the same validity period to get up to 50% more data to browse and stream. Dial *200 *3 *1# to get started.
9 Mobile. Here for you. Here for Naija.
Yes, welcome back. The show is to Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can get anywhere on radio. Before we move over to the Super Eagles, let's tell you some local football. As we can tell you in the Nigeria Professional Football League, that Benga Ogumbote, yes, that man right there, he has dumped Enugu Rangers for Lobby Stars, as Lobby Stars has announced him as their new manager ahead of the 2019-2020 Nigeria Professional Football League season. Yes, the 54-year-old signed a one-year deal with the Makurdi outfit. Ogumbote guided Rangers to a third-place finish at the just concluded NPFL Championship playoffs and also clinched a Confederations Cup spot for the former league winners, but opted Cote d'Ivoire won, Algeria won. Remember, the winner of this match would face the Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, in the semi-finals of the African Cup of Nations on Sunday.
Give me the power to win. Give me the power to win.
Right now, move over to the Under-17 World Cup, where we can tell you that Canada has been handed a marquee matchup to open up the FIFA Under-17 World Cup against host nation Brazil on the 26th of October. Canada will face Angola on October 29 and New Zealand on November 1st, with all three preliminary round games in Brasilia at the Estádio Walmer Campelo Bazira, known usually as the Bezerrão.
Give me the power to win.
Yes, the top 5 teams right there, Mexico, Nigeria, France, Japan, and Spain, were placed in Pot A for Thursday's draw. That was today's draw, along with host nation Brazil. The other 18 teams were placed in the remaining 3 pots according to their ranking. Ecuador was initially drawn into Brazil's group, but had to be moved because it is from the same confederation. New Zealand, in its 8th Under-17 appearance, was chosen instead. The Canadians were next to join the group, followed by Angola
under-17 World Cup debutants that qualified by finishing third at the African Cup of Nations. Canada came out of Pot C, where it was grouped with Australia, Cameroon, Chile, Italy, and the Netherlands. Speaking at the post-match conference, Baxter says it's difficult when you lose a game in the dying minutes and it's difficult to find positives. I thought in the first half we were brave enough to get on the ball and press higher. In the second half, we tried to do that better. Also, we tried to get more mobile and more possession, really gave Nigeria more problems, but we still could not get that last strike on goal to get there. Nigeria were always dangerous. They were really, really well organized with good players, and because we didn't defend as well as we could, we tried to win the game, but we lost it in the dying minute, which is tough to take. Congratulations to Raw and his team. I'm sure they will be one of the teams to compete to lift the trophy at the end of this tournament. Yes, with this, it means South Africa have been eliminated in their last 3 appearances at the championship's last 8. Meanwhile, Nigeria's coach Gennaro could not resist a dig at the VAR system after his team's 2-1 win over South Africa yesterday. He said the time taken to confirm his opponent's goal had unsettled the team. Quoting him, he says, for 5 minutes we had to wait, goal or no goal, and that was hard for my team. The second goal did not go in for us, and then you have seen this free kick and this VAR decision. You never know what can happen with VAR on a free kick. Raw also praised the character of the side, who came back from 2-1 down to beat Cameroon 3-2 in the previous round. He says, we are mentally strong and we are able to come back. He said, the attitude of my players was wonderful. Such a good relationship with anyone. We had a young team, but his team continued to work, and this result perhaps helped us to beat. Yes, yes, this result for us helped us to beat Cameroon in the previous game. We have learned from this match and we will press on. Yes, that is coach of the Nigeria Super Eagles, Geno Raw, talking right there. Meanwhile, Villarreal also congratulated Samuel Chukwueze, who got the first goal for the country.
reaching much further, more than any other.
Yes, and of course, so that we move over to the international scene where we can tell you that FIFA, yes, they want to automatically forfeit matches if the supporters of a particular club or country are found to be guilty of racist and other discriminatory behavior. Yes, quoting, according to the new disciplinary code launched today, he says, unless there are exceptional circumstances, if a match is abandoned by the referee because of racist or discriminatory conduct, the match shall be declared forfeited. The measure can be applied after the referee has applied the 3-step procedure for such incidents, which includes requesting a public announcement to call for any such behavior to cease, suspending the match until it stops, and finally abandoning the match altogether. The updated disciplinary code expands the scope of what is considered discriminatory behavior to anything related to race, skin color, ethnic nationality or social origin, gender, disability, sexual orientation, language, religion, political opinion, wealth, birth, or any other status or any other reason. The disciplinary code only applies to official FIFA competitions, including the qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup.
Give me the power to win.
Yes, okay, let's go for to the international smoke and tell you that Frank Lampard, yes, he was denied a victory in his first game as Chelsea buzzed by a late equalizer from Irish side Bohemians. Striker Michy Batshuayi gave the Blues an 8-minute lead, firing in after Kennedy's long-range shot was blocked. But in the final minute of the friendly, trailist Eric Molloy lasting a leveler for the Bohemians. Chelsea's all-time goal scorer Lampard, who succeeded Mauricio Sarri as manager last week, selected separate 11s for each half in Dublin. Yes, cause was quite a mixture of experience and youth with the likes of senior internationals Batshuayi, Daniel Drinkwater, Cesar Azpilicueta, and Pedro lining alongside quite a number of teenagers. Bad way to start your Chelsea campaign. Frank Lampard, and who was heavily criticized by fans with tweets and hashtags Lampard out trending earlier today.
If you
Meanwhile, Arsenal's captain Laurent Koscielny has refused to travel to the club on the club's preseason tour of the United States. The 33-year-old France defender is out of contract at the end of the 2019-2020 season and is the reported target for French clubs Bordeaux, Rennes, and Lyon. According to Arsenal, we are very disappointed by Laurent's action, but which are against our clear instructions. We hope to resolve this matter and will not be providing any further comment at the time. Bordeaux, on the other hand, have reportedly offered Koscielny a 3-year deal.
That's my way. I never surrender. Reaching much further.
Yes, Koscielny, the central defender, joined Arsenal in the summer of 2010 for a fee of around £10 million. He has played 353 times for the Gunners and won the FA Cup twice. That is in the 2013-14 season as well as the 2014-15 season. Last season, Koscielny played 30 times for the club in all competitions, including one appearance for the under-21 side in the EFL Trophy.
Listen, losing was never an option. I've always been destined to win. Yo, my speed and stability, all my ability came from within.
Yes.
As long as I see my...
Let's tell you that Barcelona has signed England under 16 striker Louis Barry on a 3-year contract from West Bromwich Albion. Birmingham-born Barry, who is 16 years old, had been with the Baggies since he was 6 and turned down the offer of a professional contract with the Championship club. West Brom will Twenty 2018 season. Last August, RB Leipzig made a permanent bid for Lookman, but he stayed on at Goodison Park and made 21 Premier League appearances under Marco Silva.
but you rain on my parade. And all the clubs you get in using my name. You think you broke my heart, oh girl, for goodness sake. You think I'm crying on my own, well I ain't. And I didn't wanna write a song, cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care or don't. But you still hit my phone.
sergeants. They should change everybody. Since it's always go, come, they should change the DPOs. He was actually referring to one local government, and it was really hilarious, the reasons he gave. But then I'd love to hear from you what you think and what your reaction is to this issue of redeploying CPs in states without staying for too long. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening, my sister.
JJ, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good to have you. Go ahead.
Yes. You see, Bushi, people say that when a leaf, you know this leaf from tree now, when it falls inside the native soap, over time, the leaf will turn to soap.
Okay.
Amen? Now, I think I don't support the views of Colonel Ohonda. Over time, you inject in new blood to tackle this insecurity. What are you studying? You know what it takes to become a commissioner of police? The training you must have gone through and so many tactical and untactical movements and everything that you have brought in. Before you even come, you've already drawn your map and know what you're going to do.
Okay.
Not coming to meet stakeholders. If you are telling me that, it will affect, I think that the major stakeholders should be changed over time, not just the DPO. Because when you want to consult with the stakeholders, they will want you to do their own bidding. So we'll be giving you advice based on what will favor them at the end of the day. So don't you think that the stakeholders need to change too? And especially the DPOs and some other people, that something will happen there, like one in Emoha, where there was a community that they went there and killed people. It was even the army that came and even assist them. And at the end of the day, the police DPO in that area said nothing happened, that nobody died. Meanwhile, over 5 persons died. So how are they set? How do they get their information? Who are who? If you are telling me that the army was even working with their ambulance to help to take those that are injured in the process and take them to hospital, how come the army is aware that something happened and the police who is supposed, whose core responsibility is to do that, is telling you that he's not aware? Until there was a backlash before the man finally agreed, yes, we just got information now.
So you think they all should be changed, not just the CPs?
Yes, because when they come, they will strip off those whole things. Are people suspecting that there's a relationship between the goat and the lion right now? That's why the lion cannot eat the goat anymore. How can you tell me you have more than 10, 15 checking points on that Emoha to Rumuji and all those areas? Yes, people are being kidnapped every day. When Allspark came, the boys, they were not doing anything anymore. They all ran away. As soon as Allspark left, the police are still there, and the process remains the same. Are you not sensing what I'm sensing? That the goat and the lion have formed alliance, and they don't eat up each other anymore?
Okay.
Bushi, let me tell you, if you have chance, maybe on Saturday, we will go to that area and count how many checkpoints you have, and those things are still happening.
Okay.
For goodness sake, what are you telling me now? Is it that if we don't hear word well, that we don't see? That's why it's one way runner. If you don't see well, that means you are not hearing well. Does it apply that way? But I must tell you, Bushi, the way many things are going, many things will happen soon. When righteous people, they turn things upside down. You see that place I told you between Rumudara before you get to Adamak and
Yes.
Nobody can pass that place again, no. Ukpolu is even learning work on where that place is right now. Ukpolu is just a shy place compared to that area. Maybe because there's no community around that area, that's why nobody's talking about it. And I tell you, what touched the mouth, what touched the tongue, will also affect the people. Because there's nobody that one person that will follow his rule. So I'm telling you that FEMA, NEMA, or whoever man that is supposed to do that thing to go and do it. You don't need rocket science. Now, what does it take to even fix Okpolu that people will keep dying and dying without, like foul? I don't know.
Right.
What does it take? Even if it is to smoothen the place, let the water be there, let people keep passing, then when it's time, they don't create a drainage to Rumokoro and reconstruct the whole place. Does it mean Jamaica will fall from heaven to come and teach us how to do simple things?
All right.
People are going to move. We are here talking about Okpolu that is flooded. Go there now, you see tankers fall up and down as if it's only competition.
All right, JJ.
This evening.
Thank you very much. Please cool off. Well, we're all facing the same thing. JJ is also in the opinion that even the officers, sergeants, DPOs, since CPs are being changed regularly, they all should be changed. They all should be swapped. If you've been in this community for too long, for 3-6 months, you can go to some other community or some other states and let a different set of persons come. Some persons have also suggested things like this. I think there was one certain time people were always calling regards insecurity in MOA, when they were complaining of the DPO in that in the police station there, and calling for his redeployment and the rest of it. But now the issue of CPs being redeployed at any point in time, some persons are saying, well, it's political. I don't know why they're saying that, but they're claiming things like this are political, while others are saying there's nothing there, it's just their usual and normal schedule. While some others are saying, well, since CPs are being changed, DPOs, officers, sergeants, all of them, they should take all of them off and bring new sets. I don't know what category you fall in. 95.1 FM. Good evening. Welcome.
I'm calling from Bayelsa Station in Lagos.
It's good to hear from you. What's the name?
My name is I Like You.
I like you.
I like you.
Oh, really? I like you. Go ahead.
I like you. You see, this insecurity issue, it's very difficult. It's a very technical something.
Okay.
Like what the last caller said, that the army, I know most times the army, when they want to make changes, when for instance, let me say, if they want to take a unified battalion from Bayelsa State, maybe they want to bring a 72 or 73, whatever thing they call themselves, they will remove all the soldiers, everybody. The few that is coming with those battalion, he is coming with battalion men to take over from the person who is the battalion who is on ground. When they take over like that, there are so many things. Whatever crimes that were taking place there, the crime will immediately reduce because they have no friend. They have no anybody to talk to. So when they are coming like that, they are coming with action. So whoever person they hold, the person responsible that is the person that is doing the thing. The hold that person. I don't know, they fetch out all these bad eggs inside them. That is what normally that the army normally do. But what the colonel was talking, I don't believe that with the colonel. Because he is a colonel, he knows what is on ground. Why should he be saying that deploying the commissioner of police, changing commissioner of police, not the matter, rather is bringing more problems, causing more harm to the state? No, I don't believe so. If they are changing commissioner, like what the last caller said, change both the sergeant, the corporal, the DPO, whatever they call themselves, change everybody. Let the ground be neutral. That is where I look at it.
All right.
Yeah, change everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening once again.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, see Forum on the line.
Forum, you have just a minute, please.
All right, no problem. But you see, one of the problems our government has this very time is poor maintenance. Not that some of them are not doing anything. The ones that is already done, what are they doing to maintain that very one? But as I speak with you, between Toronto Bridge and Okomoko General Hospital, there is a proposed situation there.
I thought they already worked on that one.
No. Between Toronto Bridge, after the bridge, and between that very place and Okomoko General Hospital, there is a proposed situation there now. I don't know what our government is doing. This is a place where the local government can pass every day. The parties that we must pass that place to council. What are they doing? Most people die there before they come to work on that very place. The place that cannot even take up to 100,000 naira. But the place is going deep every day and this is rainy season. Please, help me reach him. What are they doing? Reach him so that they can do that very place. I'm not happy. They should maintain the one that has already been done, not the one they are yet to do, because I know they will not do any one. The one that is in place already, they should maintain that very one. I'm not happy with these people at all. They are there for their own selfish interest, not for the interest of the public. I'm not happy. I don't want to be more angry this night. Please.
Why everybody getting angry this night now? 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello, Sister Gucci.
Please, I hope you are not angry this night.
No, I'm not angry.
Okay, thank God. Go ahead, please.
Okay, man of peace.
Jesus. Man of peace, it's been a while. Welcome.
Sister Gucci, let me say hi to you because my role is still like that. Thank you, God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, man of peace. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Emenike, speak up, please.
Okay, sorry. Good evening. Say Menike.
Yeah, Emenike. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Nice work.
What's good? How is Ndele?
I'm relocated.
Why?
Yes. I'm relocated. I'm not at Abloma.
Abloma?
Yes. I'm calling you right from Abloma.
Why? What happened?
It is a long story.
I hope Ndele is safe, though.
Well, I don't know. It's 2 weeks I left Ndele to Abloma. I don't know. I've not heard from them.
Is it security reasons or electricity? Because I know you always have lights there. So what pushed you away?
There are things we don't talk again, because anything you talk, it's on your head. So what I'm telling you now, I'm at Abloma. Whatever that's happening, I don't know. Take it like that.
Really?
Yes, Abloma is calm and peace. All these problems of disease is not there. But for the 2 weeks I've been there, I have not seen light. That is the advantage there.
Yeah.
But at Ndele there, they have constant light.
So, but they have something else going on that you cannot share.
Actually. So I'll be calling you from that place.
You can just send a text message. Would love to know everything happening. If you're not so comfortable talking about it on air, send a message. I'll read it out.
All right. If I send it, don't call my name.
Well, don't put your name, and I won't call your name. Something is happening. So what is happening at Ndele? Please, if you're at Ndele and there's actually something going on that Emenike is so scared of talking, because I remember when something happened related to OSPAC and a particular person at Ndele, Emenike was one of the first persons that actually said something about it. And of course, it came with a lot of backlash from so many persons. But then if you're scared to talk about something going on, it really makes me more interested in what exactly is going on that you're so scared of talking about. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome.
I want to say something.
All right, turn off your radio set, please.
I will not mention my name for security.
Okay. But where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Paris.
Okay. You love to say something concerning what?
The security. I'm a driver.
Mm-hmm.
What they will do for this security, for them to change the whole policemen on that road. But there are many of them are working with these boys, with these kidnappers. I'm telling you the honest truth. And the other day, on my way coming, they told me that I should stop. They are working on that. These boys, they come out 4 times to kidnap people. Policemen are giving me information because I do work with them, and sometimes I do give them things. I do buy gifts for them that I should wait for some hours before I move. So
you are alleging that the policemen were actually telling you that, guys, slow down. These boys are coming out 4 times this evening.
Yes.
Really?
Not good. I'm not lying. I'm a pastor. That's why I don't want to mention my name, but they know me very well on that road. They should change the policemen. They should change all.
Okay.
Well, good night.
All right, so thank you very much. It's not time to say good night. We still have a whole lot coming your way today. 8 o'clock, the news updates. 9 o'clock, opinion poll with Kalada. 10 o'clock, the world news. And 11 o'clock, Lovey Dovey. So stay tuned, please. It's not time to say good night. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good sister.
B.O.B., welcome.
I thank God that everybody is understanding.
Hey, many can fear me pass. Something where many can of open mouth talk. It means that it's in bad. Well, that's true. I haven't heard for Iwa Broma today. What is happening?
You see, I tell you, if I did, I hold up, I did by answer. I tell you, only person go see the coin no go run no. That day, this was collect amnesty for Ahoda. Uchi, me I surprised with my eyes. Uchi, some of those boys who are leading loot in the park are part of them. So they are borrowed. So I was looking, I saw one. I couldn't put down from my mouth. And this was it. And when I was saying, look me very well. Are you surprised? I'm one of them. I will tell you. And then you leave me to, they know, what they need to do, get to that Sandista forest. Don't tell them, what you need to carry. To cheat, this person tell me to get careful. Only God will protect us. That, as we will call now, you be sure, like you said, because not all that data is good, though. So,
wow.
But God is in control.
Amen. Oh, God is in control. Oh. What is really, Jesus? That's true. He just reminded me of Iwa Burma. He said he has an issue, and some soldiers were. I've been looking for him, so he said, and it seemed pretty serious. Iwa Burma, if you're listening, please would love to know what is going on currently with that situation with soldiers looking for you, trailing you up and down, and the rest of it. If you've actually gone to sort out and find out why exactly you're being sought out. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
So I'm calling from Delena right now.
Please, what is happening at Ndili? Do you mind telling us your name?
No.
All
I
right.
don't want to be.
No, Allah. Just give us the story. What's happening?
So you should not blame MNK for what MNK said, because what happened at Delena, whatever thing you say in the air, it is you and your family that will bear the consequences.
Are you serious? So what exactly is happening? Jesus. You people are getting me so interested in what's happening at Ndili. Everybody are just shushing away. Emenike, please just do out to send me an SMS. Please, if you can. And whoever is at Ndili, please let's know what's going on. 95.1 FM.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
It's been long I've been trying to reach you.
Thank God you got through today. Even if we have less than...
I'm calling from Ghana.
Simeon, you're welcome. What's happening at Ndili?
Ndili is peaceful.
Really?
It's really peaceful. Absolutely peaceful. I don't think there's anything going on.
What part of Ndili are you?
In my own enclave, like Bolu and Ndili.
It's peaceful, it's quiet. They're not looking for anybody that says anything against anybody.
I'm not aware of what is going on. I don't know. Absolutely, I don't know.
Okay.
Please, I want to talk about the Ukendi road.
All right, go ahead.
I'm just talking about that road. As the rain now is falling, you need to see that road. Very mushy, weed everywhere. And if the rainfall happens to fall for about 10 minutes or so, all the houses along that road, is flooded. And the funny thing is that the road is being done by NDDC, abandoned for almost 5 years now. Please, I want NDDC to come back and do that road. They can't abandon such an important road like that. And still, of course, I want to thank NDDC. They came to my school. And they built my school very well. They renovated everywhere and gave us best. But we still need some chairs and tables for the teachers to work effectively.
That's good to know.
Chairs and tables.
That's good.
Let them come and do that road.
All right.
Yes.
All right, Simeon, thank you very much for sharing your eyewitness reports and what's going on at a part of Ndili with us. But I'd love to know what exactly is making Emenike and the other caller act in this manner. They're acting suspicious, something. I don't know. But we have to go now. Hopefully by next week, Monday, someone would have gathered the guts and gathered the mind to tell us what is happening. It's an eyewitness report show. So you call in and bring the stories to us. Well, you can stay anonymous if you want to, and you could say something else, but just tell us what exactly is going on in your community. That's what Area Talk is about. And you can also react to things we talk about here. We have to go. It's time to go. It's time for the news update. My name is Buchi Rafua. Please join us tomorrow for Today's Woman, 7 to 8 p.m. and Chatterbox 9 to 10 p.m. here on Today 95.1 FM. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay happy, stay safe, and do the right thing always. Good evening.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the everyday, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good evening. Here's the news update at 8 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Dakurubatbo. The Court of Appeal will tomorrow deliver judgment in a suit filed against President Muhammadu Buhari challenging his qualification for the 2019 presidential election. A three-member panel of the Court of Appeal presided over by Justice Atinuke Akomolafa Wilson had on Monday reserved judgment in the suit after listening to the arguments canvassed by counsel to parties in the matter. The court earlier held that the date for its judgment would be communicated to parties, but as the 60-day time frame provided by the law for the hearing of the matter expires July 12, and the court today communicated to parties its readiness to deliver judgment tomorrow. Kalu Labaran Ismail and RCL Kuris had approached the court to challenge the educational qualification of President Buhari before the conduct of the 2019 general election, but the High Court failed to hear the matter. The federal government has ordered the enforcement of Executive Order 003, mandating all ministries, departments, and agencies to source their textile needs locally. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, said this when he met with service chiefs and the heads of military agencies. Emefiele said the Apex Bank now enjoys President Muhammadu Buhari's support in his effort to revive the cotton, textiles, and garment sector. He added that to see that the presidential order is enforced, the Bureau of Public Procurement has been notified to enforce compliance among MDAs. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, has disbursed 208 billion naira as total allocation for 2019 Tertiary Institutions Fund. The Executive Secretary of TED Fund, Professor Suleiman Bogoro, made this known at the annual meeting of TED Fund beneficiary institutions in Abuja. Bogoro said that the universities got 826 billion naira, polytechnics got a sum of 566 billion naira, and colleges of education received 542 billion naira each. The TED Fund Secretary said that the 18 institutions drawn from 6 geopolitical zones in the country were to receive special high-impact interventions. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to implement the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference. Former President Jonathan gave the advice at the book presentation of Senator Femi Okuronumu as he shared at the University of Lagos. He said the nation's major challenges can be addressed effectively if the report of the conference is executed.
The call for reform has continued to grow louder, guarding the kind of momentum that should no longer be overlooked by anybody if the nation must make real progress. I believe that the solutions to most of the problems we face today lie in a honest assessment of the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference. If we take politics out of our consideration, there is every likelihood that a diligent implementation of the key recommendations of the conference will lead the nation out of the woods. This will heal frayed nerves, promote solidarity, engender peace, and reposition our nation for meaningful growth and sustainable development.
The former president also said democracy was key to achieving the dreams of the people, noting that the electoral process should be credible. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has dared those he termed Abuja politicians to come and take over activities of the Edo State House of Assembly. Governor Obaseki said this at a rally in Benin City. The governor said Edo is in safe hands with himself, Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu, and Secretary to the state government Osaro Dion Oge. Governor Obaseki wondered what happened to some politicians that joined in the struggle to entrench "Let the People Lead" mantra.
That people from outside to come and invade the dome, to come and seize our House of Assembly. We are waiting for you. We are waiting for you. What we are going through today, we went through 10 years ago. The same thing. Nothing has changed. It's just unfortunate that some people who were with us when we started that struggle, today we do not know what has happened to them. But it is a struggle we will win. Because it is a struggle that says that the people must lead.
He said the political tension was to distract him, but he would remain focused on delivering of democracy dividends. Imo State Governor Emeka Iyedioha has said that his predecessor, Senator Rochester Okorocha, operated 250 bank accounts as opposed to the Treasury single account being implemented by the federal government and many other states. The Imo State Governor said this while meeting with online reporters in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Governor Iyedioha said of the 250 accounts, 150 were domiciled in Zenith Bank alone, while the others were scattered across other financial institutions. He added that Okorocha failed to take advantage of federal government interventions despite being an All Progressives Congress governor. The chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, the APC in Rivers State, Kingsley Wali, has said the Nigerian police force must begin to reveal the rationale for transferring commissioners of police out of the state. Wali said this in reaction to the deployment of CP Usman Dandwara as the new commissioner of police in Rivers State. He said citizens of the state must be told why a commissioner of police is being transferred, especially based on his performance while in office, adding that there is a chance security operatives lobby to be deployed to Rivers State because of financial benefits.
We've had how many police commissioners in this state in the last couple of months? We bring them, they come here, they go. We bring them, they come here, they go. What I know is that our state has become one of the very juicy positions that security officers from other parts of the country want to come and they want to come and see and feel the goodness of Rivers State. That is something that is bringing the security men that they pay. I even hear, I'm not sure, that they pay money to come to Rivers State. And if somebody is coming to Rivers State and he leaves Rivers State without anything, for example, you ask the immediate past commissioner of police that is going, what did he achieve? Did he bring down the crime rate? These are the kind of questions you should be asking. You've brought somebody, you're taking him away.
On the persistent insecurity in the state, Wali said there is need for the political class, irrespective of party leaning, to tone down the tension, just as he advised Governor Yesumike to privately visit President Muhammadu Buhari and seek for help, like other governors do.
You need to tell me what you call presidential action. For example, if it is the federal government helping to improve the security situation in Rivers State, I need to be told what they have done in Katsina or Lagos that they've not done in Rivers State. But most importantly, I saw the Katsina State governor go to see the president and say my state is burning. I saw the Zamfara State governor. I saw the Bauchi State governor. Bauchi State governor and the Zamfara State governor are not APC members. They are PD governors. They went to see the president. They look, we have a problem in our state. I don't know if our governor has gone to say, I have a problem in our state, help me. If you have an issue, you don't tell people you have an issue. What I hear every day that people are trying to demarket Rivers. Not, APC, PDP. No. Where we are now is beyond APC, is beyond. Our state is under serious threat.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has dismissed reports that it is planning to increase the price of premium motor spirit, better known as petrol. Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of NNPC, Indu Ugamadu, said mischief makers are behind the reports. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Melek Yari, during a visit to Senate President Ahmed Lawan, said it is very difficult to make fuel available at 145 naira per litre. But Ugamadu said it was improper for people to conclude that the corporation had made plans to hike the price of the product. Ugamadu therefore urged Nigerians to report cases of increased fuel price to the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, in order to take disciplinary measures against defaulters. On the foreign scene, African countries should harness the energy and creativity of the youth to revitalize action on violent extremism that has gained foothold amid poverty, conflicts, and social exclusion. Aya Chebi, an African Union youth envoy, made the call on the sidelines of a Pan-African Counter-Terrorism Forum in Nairobi. Chebi said the success of terrorism initiatives in Africa depended on robust engagement of the continent's youthful population in policy formulation and awareness on the menace. Chebi urged governments and multilateral lenders to finance youth-led grassroots campaigns to prevent spread of violent ideologies in marginalized regions. And that's the size of the package at 8. Thank you for listening. I am Kala Dakarubatubor. Good evening and stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM. The World Today is up next.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Are you in search of a place to do all your audio recordings? From jingle, documentaries, church messages, and lots more.
Are you in search of a platform to give your business maximum exposure? Look no further. Come advertise with Today FM. With our unbeatable reach, we'll give your business the boost it so dearly needs. Visit us now at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt. Whatever the business is, we'll give it a voice.
You deserve more from us. From Great Talk.
Is it a celebrated feat that people should be dying? Don't we have government? I think that should be the focus and not who is behind it.
And then Chief Loveday.
What else do I say? Killing is killing.
For the attack. News and entertaining programs. News updates on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
TOFFE.
This man knows that he's based on.
Now you do this guy thing.
I go do this kind of thing now.
You never be this man. You never know the best way.
Honey, now your brother.
Stay glued to this dial. Today 95.1 FM, and we will do the rest.
Excellent.
Good evening. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, Voice of the People, and it is time again for a rundown of the foreign news stories that made the headlines on the world today. In our package tonight, France passes tax on tech giants despite U.S. threats.
And 6 tourists die in Greece storm.
U.S. couples use fertility clinic over IVF complications.
A former New York State Assembly's man sues U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for blocking people on Twitter.
China arrests tycoon linked to child sex allegations.
I am Buchira Fwa.
And I am Kala Dakoru Batwo. The Ministry of Defense has confirmed that Iranian boats tried to obstruct a British oil tanker near the Gulf before being driven off by a Royal Navy ship. HMS Montrose, a British frigate shadowing the BP-owned tanker, was forced to move between the three boats and the tanker. Iran had earlier threatened to retaliate for the seizure of one of its own tankers but denied any attempted seizure. A UK government spokesman said contrary to international law, 3 Iranian vessels attempted to impede the passage of a commercial vessel, British Heritage, through the Strait of Hormuz. Defense Secretary Penny Mordaunt said the government was concerned by the incident and urged the Iranian authorities to de-escalate the situation. Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt also said the UK would monitor the situation very carefully.
And despite the accusations by the United States, France has approved the digital services tax despite threats of retaliation by the U.S., which argues that it unfairly targets American tech giants. The 3% tax will be levied on sales generated in France by multinational firms like Google and Facebook. The French government has argued that some firms headquartered outside the country pay little or no tax. The new tax was approved by the French Senate on Thursday, a week after it was passed by the lower house, the National Assembly.
The 6 tourists have been killed and at least 30 others injured in a violent storm that swept across the region of northern Greece. Gale force winds, heavy rain and hailstorms lashed Al-Kidiki near the city of Thessaloniki. A Romanian woman and a child were killed when the roof of a restaurant collapsed near Plagia, while a Russian man and his son were killed by a falling tree near their hotel in the seaside resort of Potidia. A state of emergency was declared and more than 100 rescue workers deployed. This is the latest in a series of other extreme weather events across Europe in recent weeks.
And in the U.S., a couple in the U.S. are suing a fertility clinic of implanting their embryo into a different woman. The woman gave birth to twins in March only for DNA tests to allegedly show the babies were not related to her or even to each other. The second baby boy allegedly comes from the egg and sperm of a third unrelated couple. Court filings reportedly say the birth couple ceded custody of the child and that the clinic has made contact with his biological parents, although they have not come forward publicly. Both families are suing the fertility center. The California lawsuit alleges negligence and emotional distress, as well as claiming CHA Fertility broke a state law preventing the use of embryos for any purpose other than that consented by the provider. The company has not yet commented on the lawsuit. Conviction on that charge could reportedly carry a prison sentence of between 3 and 5 years.
In Norway, the country has found a radiation level 800,000 times higher than normal at the wreck of a Russian Navy submarine that sank in the Norwegian Sea in 1989. A sample showed radioactive calcium leaking from a ventilation pipe in the Komsomolets, but researcher Hild Elise Eldal said it was not alarming as the Arctic water quickly diluted it. It is also known as K-278 in Russia, and it sank carrying 2 nuclear-tipped torpedoes. Its front section has 6 torpedo tubes, and the sub could also launch Granite cruise missiles. The news comes just over a week after fire swept through a Russian nuclear-powered submersible in the Barents Sea, killing 14 naval officers. The survivors managed to get the mini-sub back to its Arctic base.
And in Brazil, its lower house of Congress has voted by a large majority to overhaul the country's generous pension system. President Jair Bolsonaro won the vote with 379 over 131. His government says the reforms are critical to boosting the growth of South America's biggest economy. But the controversial bill requires a second vote in the lower house before moving to the Senate, where it faces weeks or months of more debate. Proposed reforms include raising the retirement age and increasing workers' contributions. Trade unions and opposition politicians argue that such moves would penalize the poorest, forcing them to work longer.
A quadriplegic man who became a symbol of the right to die debate in France has died after doctors removed his feeding tubes. 42-year-old Vincent Lambert had been in a persistent vegetative state since a motorcycle accident 11 years ago. Doctors began taking him off life support last week after a final ruling by France's highest appeals court. Lambert's case divided both the country and his own family, sparking demonstrations on the streets of Paris. On 2nd July, the Court of Cassation in France overturned an earlier appeal court ruling to allow doctors to stop feeding Lambert, who was a former psychiatric nurse. His 90-year-old father, Pierre Lambert, had earlier described the court decision as murder in disguise and euthanasia. But Lambert's wife and others argued that the humane cause was to let him die.
The U.S. Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is being sued for blocking people on Twitter. Former New York State Assemblyman Dov Hikind and Joseph Saladino, a YouTube personality running for Congress, filed the claims. According to Hikind's lawsuits, the Congresswoman blocked him after he criticized her and her political views. Ms. Ocasio-Cortez is among many critics of the detentions of the southern border, saying people are being held in cramped and unhygienic conditions. Both cite a recent ruling against President Donald Trump, which said he was breaking the law by blocking critics on the social media platforms. They argued the law should apply to all politicians. Ocasio-Cortez's office has not yet commented on the lawsuit.
Chinese billionaire Chinese billionaire property developer Wang Zhenhua has been formally arrested in Shanghai. A report last week said that Wang had been detained over allegations of child sex offenses. Future Land Development Holdings initially removed 57-year-old Wang as chairman last week when he was first detained, confirming his arrest. This came after a woman filed a report to police alleging Wang had abused her daughter in a hotel in Shanghai. His detention last week prompted shares in Future Land Development Holdings to plunge to their lowest levels since February. There has been no direct statement from Wang.
Uluru tourists draw controversy ahead of climb ban. Tourists to Australia's Uluru have drawn controversies for seeking to climb the sacred indigenous site in a month ahead of a ban on the practice. It has been criticized as disrespectful to Aboriginal people who have long asked tourists not to climb. In 2017, the board of the Uluru Kata Juta National Park voted unanimously to end the climb because of the spiritual significance of the site. The giant red monolith, known previously as Ayers Rock, has seen a rise in visitors since the decision was announced.
At least 9 people were killed and more than 60 injured when 2 trains collided in central Pakistan early Thursday. The incident took place in Rahimia Khan district in Punjab province when a passenger train coming from the eastern city of Lahore rammed into a goods train that had stopped at a crossing. Train accidents are common in Pakistan where the railways have been where the railways have seen decades of decline due to corruption, mismanagement, and lack of investment. In June, 3 people were killed when 2 trains collided in southern Sindh province.
Vega rocket's launch with UAE satellite fails after takeoff. European rockets launch service provider Ariane Space says mission ended after irregularity occurred. The launch of a rocket carrying an imaging satellite for the United Arab Emirates has failed about 2 minutes after liftoff from a base in French Guiana. It was the first failure after 14 successful launches of Vega since operations began at the Guyana Space Center in 2012. The Ariane Space statement said that data analysis had begun, adding that an independent inquiry commission was to be set up in the hours ahead. The launch was originally set for July 7, but was postponed because of the high altitude winds.
Britain's envoy to Washington, Kim Darroch, has stepped down from his post, saying it was impossible to continue. Darroch resigns as British ambassador to the United States as the diplomatic row between the two allies erupts. The UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office confirmed the 65-year-old's resignation on Wednesday. Trump had on Monday launched a broadside against UK Prime Minister Theresa May and said the US would no longer deal with the British ambassador after the diplomat's assessment of the Trump administration as inept was leaked to the Daily Mail newspaper. You will recall that the ambassador had referred to Trump's administration as inept few days ago in a leaked email.
A summary of the foreign news stories that made the headlines.
France has passed tax on tech giants despite US threats.
6 stories have died in Greece storm.
US couple has sued a fertility clinic over IVF complications.
A former New York State Assemblyman has sued US Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for blocking people on Twitter.
China has arrested tycoon linked to child sex allegations.
And that story from UK concludes tonight's edition of the